Good evening, Robot Wars fans. Hardcore Kid here with another episode of the Hardcore Podcast. The BattleBot season has ended once again, and while we anxiously await Season 4...
Fingers crossed.
We're going to be reviewing a few episodes from the other Robot Wars series that you may or may not have seen. And the first episode we're going to be watching is Heat A of Season 2 of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, the American spin-off of Robot Wars in the UK, featuring a few American machines, and some you may have seen in the UK series, and some you may have not have heard of, but hopefully you'll be a fan, some are not. But joining us for this review, I have, as always, Otaku Nate, Ashton Frank.
As I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. And I don't know the words of the rest of the song. We watched Joey Janela's Lost in New York before we recorded this, and hell of a show.
Certainly better than Crown Jewel.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. And joining us for this review, we have ResettisReplicas.
Teenage Wasteland.
Da-da. And, of course, we have Ryan Beaver.
Hey, guys, and before we begin, I'm just going to give a quick shout-out, a huge happy birthday to the King of the Monsters, Godzilla. The first movie was released today, back in 1954. Fun fact of the day.
Nice.
Awesome.
Happy birthday, G.
May he waste Tokyo I don't know. Let's get going.
Makes you wonder why people even continue to live in Tokyo if a giant monster is just going to keep coming and destroying their shit.
It's just a movie. You should really just relax.
I mean, can you just imagine how much the insurance companies make off those movies?
Quite a few yen.
Well, actually, never mind. Not the insurance companies, the contractors.
The insurance companies are losing money.
The contractors are just making that dough. Anyway, so what are we reviewing today, Brandon?
We are reviewing Heat A of the second season of Robot Wars Extreme Warriors, which...
I thought it had some good moments.
There were some good moments, and given the card of this episode, you really expected more from it, especially when you have robots like Panzer and Cyclone and Probophobia. You think, hey, I'd love to see these two go head-to-head. Should be some good clashes, and... For the most part, a lot of the matches were too short. A lot of them were just kind of boring.
This was just a bunch of nothing, this heat.
There was a few moments that got a chuckle out of me, but other than that, it was just kind of a slog to sit through.
Well, look on the bright side. This episode will be short.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but might as well get to it, and we'll start off by talking about the reigning champion, the number 1 seed from Rancho Palo Verde, California, Panzer Mach 4.
Panzer Mach 4.
Also known as one of the best. Also known as one of the best pusher robots in Robot Wars Extreme Destruction.
Yeah. Now, Panzer Mach 2. A lot of people really prefer that machine.
Me too.
Yeah, because it has, the weapon actually works, the flipper that it had.
Yeah, the lifter, it flops about. It just does not look all that powerful.
It seems to work. I think it's just more better when they have it in the down position most of the time.
It seems to be more used for just lowering it so that it's able to get underneath all the robots. It never really used it for lifting of any kind.
Now that I think about it, it uses the exact same setup for Robotica, so they may have just switched it over. Yeah, because think about it, for Robotica, there's a lot of obstacles, so they probably just use the actuated plows to stuff that pushing power, but they could also go over obstacles, and I think they just didn't switch it back.
Yeah, and it certainly worked.
Yes, essentially, this is Panzer Mach 3. They won Season 3 of Robotica over in America on TLC about a few months prior, and they decided, yeah, this thing's got some power to it. Let's bring it over to Robot Wars, since it is the defending champion, and let's see how we do.
Yeah. And in fact, this is actually one of the robots that's participated in all 3 of the major shows back in the day. Panzer and Panzer Mark III for Robotica, Panzer Mark II and Mark IV for Robot Wars, and under the name of Wrath for BattleBots.
And another fun fact, up until Team Carbide won both Fighting My Bots and Robot Wars, Cyclone was the only, or not Cyclone, Panzer was the only competitor to win 2 separate televised robot events, both Robot Wars and Robotica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been unbeatable if they did well in BattleBots, but unfortunately didn't have a whole lot of luck there.
Yeah, well, with this season, there were while they did have a few scares here and there, most of the competition they fought was very they couldn't really keep up with them, and that's what led them to many victories. And
Yep.
I like this version of Panzer. Some say it's a step down, but it's solid. It's got good pushing power, good speed, and it's everything you could really ask for in a big, powerful wedge machine.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely looks cool too.
Yeah, it went from military tan to black and blue. And it's got a hat. It has a hat on it for some reason. I don't know why it has a hat.
I think that's the light.
Well, the light doesn't seem to blink like the others do.
The best part is...
It's probably covering some parts or something.
The best part is when they competed in the grand final, they had that little happy face thing sitting on the top. That was really cool. But yeah, Panzer, solid performance throughout the entire heat. And so we'll move on to the heat finalist, and hands down, one of my favorite designs of all time.
Mine too.
Probophobia.
Probophobia. Forklift.
Yeah. If you're a fan of Shockwave in Robot Wars Series 8, you're going to love this bot.
I do.
Yeah, essentially it's got 2 lifting forks or goal posts.
Or probes, as Stefan Frank kept calling them.
And it rotates 360 degrees, so it can self-right,
it can also
spike, it can lift.
And it can also move across the arena with its forks, as it did with its fight with Tut Tut on Nickelodeon Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Get some really cool maneuvers out of those things.
Yeah. I'm kind of mixed on Probophobia. I like the design, but my biggest issue is really just how slow it is, both from driving and with the lifting forks.
One of the best, and as it shows for strengths, the strengths is fast and sturdy.
Yes, with reaching high speeds of 7 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with Probophobia. It's really just the fact that it was incredibly slow.
Yeah. It's not too bad, though.
It's no panic attack, that's for sure.
It did some very panic attack maneuvers in this episode.
Oh, yeah. And one of the fights we'll definitely talk about was probably my favorite of the evening involved Probophobia.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I just want to say that its name, Probophobia, I looked up Probophobia, and all the results led me to the robot itself. Probo, in the probo part in Probophobia is taken from proboscis, which refers to your nose. Any mammal's nose is called a proboscis. So basically,
right?
Yeah.
So basically, even though it doesn't exist, Probophobia is basically the fear of noses.
The more you know.
So,
let me see your nose. Ah! You're scaring me. Get away from me.
You know, if you look at it right, Probophobia could look like a nose if they shave the sides a little bit.
It's got 2 little noses sticking out the front.
It could pick your nose.
Yeah.
That's certainly...
Ian, what do you think of Probophobia?
I think that it's very, very fun to watch.
Yeah. I think that's really all we can say about Probophobia. Is there anything else? I'll take that as a no. So we'll move on.
They were. Oh, I was just gonna say, it's funny how in Nick they were inconsistent about whether or not rolling along with its arms counted as movement.
Yeah, because in the final of the Nickelodeon championship, Probophobia, once the wheels stopped working, they tried using the forks to go around, and even though it was translating across the arena, they still counted out anyway. And then against Tut Tut, they decided, okay, so it is a walker. Let's just let them keep going.
It's certainly faster. It's certainly faster than 11.
It was faster than most bots, but yeah, that's Probophobia. And so we'll move on to the second round finishers. We'll start off with the wedgiest wedge that's ever wedged its way into the U.S. Championships, Snakebite.
Snakebite. Storm 2 clone. Seriously, this thing looks... This thing is freaking Storm 2.
It's a prototype Storm 2.
It predates Storm 2.
Yeah, it's got the wedge, it's got the side flanges, and it's really solid. The fangs.
It has the most pathetic weapon I've ever seen, though, I will say that.
Were those things supposed to crush?
It's supposed to grip, that's for sure. It's certainly a better weapon than those wagglers from Dark Destroyer 2.
Yeah, but the wagglers, at least they moved. Not once have I seen the fangs on Snakebite move. Like they worked. Like when they were up against like Rosie the Riveter, they were able to grab onto the wedge and push it into the wall. But for the most part, the only thing I've seen out of the weapons was just shifting positions in different shots. Like,
I mean, probably just doesn't have any clamping strength whatsoever. So
no.
It's more like not a crusher but a holder. It comes down on top of them, but can't really go any further than just brushing against the opponent once it has it in its hold. Same thing happened with Plunderbird when it had the crusher.
Yeah.
It wasn't strong enough to pierce anything, and they didn't want to try because that might strip it.
Fun fact. I was just looking on the wiki. This team also entered Robotica with Viper.
Yeah.
Which actually made to the finals. It actually beat the original Panzer Mark 1.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a rivalry going on in this episode between Panzer and Snakebite, and Panzer for the most part came out on top, mainly because it just had the speed, and that's really what separates the design of Snakebite from Storm 2. It's so slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 7 miles an hour at least.
You'd think a 6-wheeled bot would be nippy across an arena, but nope, this thing moves about as fast as Congress.
Fun fact, it's also one of many, many machines to have NPC wheelchair motors. That's why you see the little NPC stickers on the back. Yep, it's using those motors, just like many competitors.
I'm looking on the wiki. One of their team members is Michael Garrod. You think he's related?
No. Yeah, but I think the only... I'm not sure what else there is to say about Snakebite. It's a wedge with a couple crowbars sticking out of it. And it got turned into a robot on a stick.
I don't know. They've made some effort to make it look cool, so I can acknowledge that. And I don't know. I guess they probably use just 2 motors between their 6 wheels, which is why I'd guess they were so slow despite having 6 wheels.
Yeah. Apparently they did well in the Robot Rebellion though later on.
They did. Like they were able to Shunt and Dead Metal were having a bad day, and so they were able to outlive them until Kilowat just came in and ruined everything. Yeah, but that covers Snakebite. We'll move on to the other second round finisher. Straight from the Team Logicom workshop, we have Spin Doctor.
Spin Doctor! Spinner!
Yes, one of many, many Robot Wars competitors with the name Spin Doctor.
and one of 2 teams this very evening that's Doctor themed.
Yeah.
The other being Trypophobia.
Yep, little the hospitalization crew, as Stefan Frank called it.
Captained by Thomas Beaver. You know him, Ryan?
Nope.
Yeah, it's little fun fact. When I was working on building a heavyweight robot, I had the design idea down, and it was going to be just like Spin Doctor. It was going to be 4-wheel drive and have a big flywheel on the front. And yeah, Spin Doctor, honestly, it's not all that reliable. Like the chains always kept slipping, and right after the series, they finished the series. They competed as Bambulance on the live event circuit. They took the disc off and replaced it with a wedge plow thing, and it actually was much more effective than the disc. And also a fun fact: when I dropped my bot parts off after finishing Battle Beach, Spin Doctor was on the floor of the workshop there, and the disc is gone and the top was gone, but everything else inside it looked intact. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what was also kind of funny is that even though Spin Doctor and Probophobia were both doctor themed, Spin Doctor was actually built by an actual doctor.
Really?
Yeah. They said in the show that in the interview that one of the builders was actually worked at like a Miami emergency room or something like that.
Interesting.
Nice.
So he said that in the episode. So I found that an interesting fact.
Ian, what do you think of Spin Doctor?
I think it's clear they always wanted to be a wedge. They were fast and they were going at Panzer with the wedge. And
well, that's because the disc wasn't working.
Yeah, that chain slips like all the time. But I mean, they look good. Like a high ground clearance robot that's fast is just gonna, it's just gonna like catch air whenever it hits anything. And I loved watching that happen.
It did make some nice sparks when it went up against Probophobia, and then before the disc died. But yeah, it's a good design. I just wish it was more reliable, and also it's flammable. How? Apparently, the disc is made out of urethane, and I guess I don't know what the shell's made of. Maybe it's like some kind of aluminum, but yeah, flammable. I don't know. But yeah, that's Spin Doctor. But we'll move on to the first round finishers, starting with a robot that is so laughable that even Mark Hamill is cackling with laughter at just how lame it is. Joker. Loser!
Oh, don't be mean.
No.
I'm sorry. As a kid, I thought this thing looked cool, but looking at it now, it's just... How is this thing supposed to damage people?
Yeah, and it's like they hyped this robot up like crazy in the Nickelodeon series. Like Stefan says, it's got everything but the kitchen sink attached to that disc. It's got spinners and steel whackers and hooks and padlocks. First off, the only weapons we saw in there were the hooks, and they never did anything. Number 2... The disc is powered by a wheelchair motor, which
oh my god!
Only gets it up to 230 RPM.
Oh Jesus!
So you're not going to be getting any power out of this disc. But you want to know what the biggest problem with this robot is? You know how it has that wedge in the back? You know what's sticking out of the wedge?
What?
The removable link.
The removable
thing
link.
That kills it.
And quite a few times in this show that they lost because they backed into their opponent and the link got ripped right out.
Yes, because apparently there's none. Apparently, tucking it in is too much of an issue.
They don't have enough room in it.
Yes, because they obviously need all that room for all the spinning disc power.
Cripes almighty.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they were told last minute you need a removable link. That's the only reason I can think that it would end up like that.
Otherwise we'd have like we'd have a disruptor situation where you have to turn the robot off manually and yikes.
I don't know, maybe they thought at first that, Allen key switch would be good enough. But
no, in the Robot Wars, you had to have a removable link plug.
That's what I mean. So maybe they came in with that and were told, like, you got to switch that out for a removable link. Find a way.
Because the UK is obsessed with those removable links for some reason.
Yeah, and I keep telling them put duct tape around it.
Yeah, apparently that's the reason that a lot of bots in the reboot just broke down instantly.
Speaking of removable links, let's talk about the other first-round finisher. Oh, and am I so disappointed with this machine? It's Cyclone.
Cyclone. Glass cannon.
I was so disappointed with this thing.
Oh my god.
Essentially, it's a Raptor machine if it had sex with Nightmare and created some kind of bizarre hybrid.
This is easily the coolest looking robot of the whole heat.
Oh
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a real shame that this thing just goes out as early as it does.
And it's such a cool design. It's got tracks, so it doesn't have to worry about gyro dancing, which is a problem that many vertical spinners have. The disc, when they interviewed Chris Harriman in the pits, they said the disc spins at only 700 RPM.
That's the fastest disc in this heat.
I find that preposterous, especially when you get a closer look. There's an E-Tech powering that thing. At the most, that thing has to be spinning at like over 2,000 RPM. How you got that down to 700 is astonishing. Why would you have it down to only 700 RPM?
I don't know. Probably some bullshit safety rules or something. I don't know.
Safety rules.
You think it was actually more?
I'm sure it was more. You got an E-Tech. You got 2 belts on the thing. There had to be a lot more power than just 700.
Yeah. So ultimately, it is a shame what happened. But hey, on the bright side, at least he won the Annihilator later.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they did well in the Annihilator, but yeah, I expected so much more out of this, but unfortunately, that pesky removable link ruined everything.
You know, it was the removable link.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look closely, right after they hit Probophobia, you can see like the little plug go flying right out and land on the floor.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
See, this is why I don't like removable links.
I have a Dean's plug. It's better, but yeah, it sucks. But
power switches all the way.
Yeah, but I guess we'll talk about the matches now, and we'll start off with Panzer Mach 4, the reigning champion, against rival Snakebite and Joker.
What a nothing match this was.
Oh, come on! This was a fun match.
I was so bored by this. It's just Panzer bumping into Snakebite and Joker. Joker loses drive on one side. Snakebite doesn't really do anything. It's just, there's very little contact between the other two.
Contact? He was ramming Joker all over the arena.
No, but it just
slamming
wasn't
the bash.
It just wasn't exciting.
It
was boring.
The best way I can describe this fight is Francis from Left 4 Dead going, bumper cars. But honestly, yeah, this was, I literally wrote in my notes here, I described it as a snooze fest.
I guess that's what you can expect when you have 3 wedge machines and Joker's disc, which I don't know if you noticed because of the potato quality, but right at the start of the match, one of Joker's hooks goes flying right off.
Look, if you want to build a flail bot, just copy Nuts 2 and call it a day.
Assuming Nuts 2 exists at the time.
I guess the camera wasn't the only thing potato quality about this match.
I'm sorry, but that was the best quality I could get. But yeah, I liked parts of it. But yeah, once Joker lost drive, lost the weapon, and Snakebite was just. I will give Snakebite credit because it was able to get under Panzer a couple times, but it was major speed disadvantage over Panzer, just slammed it around. At one point, Snakebite had a hole in its back. I have no idea where that came from. But, yeah.
One of the house bots, maybe?
Maybe. I thought maybe Bash got a hold of it and they just didn't show it. I don't know. Yeah. But, Joker ended up getting eliminated, and the Robotica rivals, Snakebite and Panzer, go on. You want to talk boring, Nate? Let's move on to Cyclone versus Probophobia versus Spin Doctor. Fuck this match.
Yeah, pour one out for Cyclone.
And let me guess, and it's not just because Cyclone lost.
Not just because Cyclone lost, and then we just get a little bit of Probophobia and Spin Doctor for about 20 seconds. Probophobia lifts Spin Doctor up, and then Spin Doctor breaks down too.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. If Cyclone's Power Link hadn't popped out, they probably could have won this match. I don't know. I don't know how this thing could have self-righted. Like, maybe if it ran on the disc and bumped into the wall to get itself back over.
That disc is way too skinny to run upside down effectively.
It could work. I don't know.
No, it won't. It won't.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if the power link hadn't been pulled out, it wouldn't have needed to self-right because it would still be on its wheels. It wasn't flipped over until after the power link was removed.
So you think it would survive?
I'm looking at the
through Probo's crossbar. Yeah. Seemed like they hit a really strong point there.
Yeah. I'm looking at the picture I'm looking at the picture of it laying upside down. Those tracks are not touching the floor at all. So
yeah.
It would not have run upside down.
I told you.
Well, no, I'm saying that I'm saying is that if the removable leg hadn't been gotten on, it wouldn't have needed to self-right because it wouldn't have gotten flipped over in the first place.
Yeah,
maybe. Like, I mean, you're talking about it avoiding Probo for all 5 minutes.
I don't know. It seems fast enough to do so.
Yeah, because those probes, they really look like they could just like get a hold of the tracks or get under the side or something like that and just either knock the track off or flip it over. So I don't know. This is one of many disappointments that this season offered. But thankfully, we do see Cyclone later on in the show, and it does much better there. But yeah, this was a complete derp of a match.
And Cyclone got put on the floor flipper and just didn't go anywhere once it flipped.
I will say it did get some decent air. Like it's such a big robot, but it just was able to go got some decent air time when it went flying. It's like, wow. Yeah, but you know what? Shit happens. And this was shit. So
I wonder who could flip a robot farther, the floor flipper or Bronco.
Oh, Bronco would send this thing to Valhalla.
Easily.
Roel. Yeah, so we'll move on to the second round. Spin Doctor and Probophobia went through to the next round, the hospitalization crew, and Panzer Mach 4 versus Spin Doctor.
This was a better match, but it was still kind of eh. Yeah. Like, as the two were flying around, bumping into each other, it was good, and then Spin Doctor lost its chain.
And we love poking fun at Robot Wars for constantly using sound effects. I'm pretty sure those tire screeching sounds were real.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. All the ramming and crashing and screw breaking, as Anderson likes to call it. But, yeah, the Panzer essentially just bullied it around. Spin Doctor got flipped upside down, hit the pit button, and then it went full John Reed and drove into the pit. Yeah, and this won't be the first time, or the last time that this happens, because there were many machines in this season who, quote, went full Reed and drove themselves into the pit. Yeah, we'll have a counter for it in the show. Right now, we're up to 1. But yeah, Panzer gets the win. And then we get one of the best moments in this, not only in the entire episode, but maybe in the entire series. Probophobia versus Snakebite.
Let me sum this one up for you. Remember Shrapnel versus the Big Cheese from Series 3 of Robot Wars? This is basically that fight. Snakebite drives onto Probophobia's forks. Probophobia is able to lift it up thanks to the big gaps in between its wheels, drags it around the arena, puts it into the pit.
It was glorious.
Yes. Jesus, what happened? Is Stephen Felk driving this thing?
Yeah.
This is definitely the best fight of the night, hands down.
Yeah, it was short, and I can't really call it a fight, but it was definitely the most memorable match of the episode, I think. Although
it was definitely I would definitely agree with the best fight of the episode. So.
Yeah, Snakebite really couldn't do anything. The fangs were in the down position. I assume so if they could run upside down. But yeah, there was nothing they were gonna do to Probophobia.
Yeah. I did write down in my notes that there was too much corn.
What?
What?
I wrote that just because that little during like the smack talk session at the very beginning.
Oh, that.
Just like how the both teams just hammed it up, and I just wrote down too much corn because of it.
Yeah, and Adam Baxter from Spin Doctor, he really went all in with his character.
Yeah, they basically had.
I love how
they cut a cheesy wrestling promo in the back. It was cringy, but it was still funny.
Yeah, I also liked how they had to chew him out for taking the mic away from the hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, considering that Carol Grow is boring as staring at white paint, yeah, like, if you're wondering why we're not talking about Carol Grow, there is nothing to say about her. She is boring as boring pit reporters come.
She's no Angela Scanlon, that's for sure.
No. And, like, Rebecca Grant may have been rather, I don't know what an appropriate word for it is. A little, I'm not even going to say anything. But she at least had personality. She was like a heel pit reporter. Carol Grow was just there.
Yeah, I also wrote in my notes that Mike Polly was excitable, gets the hype going, but also kind of a dick at times.
Hey, he's an asshole, but he's a likable asshole.
Yeah, more likable than Peter Griffin, that's for sure.
Ugh. Anyone is
Holy
more
crap.
likable than any character made by Seth MacFarlane these days.
He's made. Well, that's the idea. His characters are designed to be assholes.
Yeah,
Ted,
but
they're not designed for you to like them when they call for it.
So.
No, it's just they're unlikable assholes. There's a huge difference.
Yeah, because Mick Foley, I've spoken with Mick Foley. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just...
He's the hardcore legend. Yeah, so, since there were only 5 matches in this episode, we, of course, had to have an entire segment showing every single highlight from all the matches. And, of course, that, it's long, it's boring. And I don't know if you guys, I watched some of the, I watched some of the highlights in the later episodes. They actually show clips from the matches that didn't air, that they didn't show in, the regular matches in the filming. And I'll get to, the ones, hopefully, like in Heat B. But, yeah, that's kind of cheap.
The power of editing!
Yep.
Yeah.
At least we got to see, Probophobia make a snake kebab again.
Yes, that was fun. So the Heat final was Panzermach 4 versus Probophobia. 2 of the best designs of this episode, if minus Cyclone, of course. But there were so many moments where Probophobia could have won this match. The big one was when Panzer came flying right into the CPZ, went right at Probophobia's wedge, and almost went flying out of the arena. Could you imagine if that happened?
Banking yourself out of the arena.
all I could imagine was like the Dukes of Hazzard horn as he was flying over Probophobia.
Ian, didn't you make a video in Robot Arena 2?
Yes,
where it was
I remember
Mighty
this.
Mouse versus a wedge?
No, Velociraptor versus Ramp. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Velociraptor.
Yeah, and then also Probophobia was able to get the forks under Panzer and almost lift it up, but to no avail.
Just a little too slow.
Yeah, Probophobia was just so friggin' slow in this fight, and it looked like it broke down, pretty early on.
I think Kill-A-Lot may have damaged its drive when they pushed it into the corner, because they were doing okay. And then once Panzer pushed them into the house robots, that was when they were struggling. And they got pushed into the disc button. By the way, yes, this is the first ever appearance of the floor spinner, which has teeth built into it for robots to get stuck on. And thank God they got rid of them in Season 6.
Stupid then, stupid now.
Yeah, and they eventually got rid of it altogether in Season 7, and thank God. Because what a horrendous trap that was.
I get what they were going for, to discourage wedges.
Well, more like to disorient the opponents. So you'd used to
I don't know. I mean, I've done Dallas where they have a spinner, and it's not very disorienting.
Well, at least if you want to see a spinner that can really fuck your day up, just look at the one at the Dragon Con events. It's made out of sandpaper, and it just destroys your wheels.
Yeah, that would do that.
Hell of a lot more effective than the BattleBots floor spinners.
Or the little spike things, but yeah.
It's more of a meta hazard than an entertainment hazard.
Spike Hazard Series 3 flashbacks.
The floor dildos. Yeah, but if there is one hazard that Robot Wars will have till the end of time, it's the pit. And Panzer just put Probophobia right onto the pit zone, and Probophobia hung over the pit, which means it technically wasn't eliminated.
Foreshadowing.
And therefore, Probophobia did nothing wrong.
Probophobia cheated. Oh my gosh. Everyone bitches at Tornado. What about Probophobia? Oh wait.
Well, I mean, Probophobia was all on its own, and Like whereas Tornado is being held.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny. It's one of those things where, it's literally this robot's whole design is too long. I don't know. Just fans just look for Robot Wars fans. There are just times they look for anything to bitch about. Yes. Half the time it involves Razor or Chomp.
Or Bombshell now.
Bombshell, you've been added to the.
You just made the list. Jinx. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh crap! That means you can't talk for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Jinx Machine's out about her. Please put in another quarter. If you want your quarter bad, type in 1-800 go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but Panzer ends up getting the win and moves on to the grand final to join 7 other machines competing in this championship. Since there are 8 heats in this series, no wild card like in the Dutch series. It's just 8 heats, 48 robots, all looking to get one of those 8 places. And Panzer got the first place, as it deserves. And now that pretty much does it for this episode. And honest, it wasn't a good episode.
No, it wasn't.
But
yeah, pretty bad way to start the series.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 5.
I give it a 4.
Ian?
I'm going to give it a 6. I think that Probophobia snakebite moment made it.
And how about you, Ryan?
Negative 5 stars. And actually, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Yeah. Very different ratings. But yeah, that pretty much covers this episode. But we do the next episode. It's a little disappointing too, but I will say it does have some good machines. The number 3 seed, Manta. The big, thick box, Rocky Balboa. From the Team -0 workshop, we have the Bat. From, we also have the big bulbous crusher lifter thingy Trilobite. We have from the big box Medusa Oblongata. And also, driven by Mr. Team Think Tank himself, Ted Shimoda, we have Mad Cow Bot. So, yeah, we'll see how that episode goes. You guys don't care. Well, this episode was boring.
I'm tired.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock, so yeah, we gotta go home and get some sleep. So yeah, but it was good having you guys on, and hopefully the series will improve from this.
Yeah, we'll see if I join you guys or not again, but I don't know.
But now, we are going to be reviewing the Lab Rats episode next as part of our 50th episode special.
We don't know I don't know when I'm going to be free next week, so that's the one caveat.
All right, but
I will definitely be joining you guys for that one, though, because I love reviewing episodes of TV shows.
Yeah, those are fun. We'll hopefully also have Nate Franklin and Joey Maffey with us, since that's what the opening skit promised. And yeah, that pretty much covers that. Until next time, guys, I am the Hardcore Kid. Nate.
I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm ResettisReplicas. Subscribe to me.
And I'm Ryan Beaver.
Peace out and cease.
Monkey on a stick! We're getting fingered by Godzilla!
What the fuck?
We are editing that out.
Freeman's Mind. Watch it.